Okay, so today we're going to talk about the volume of a cylinder. Well, a cylinder is really a prism, but what's unique about a cylinder is that the bases will always be a circle. So we learned yesterday that the volume of a prism was BH, but this B represented the area of the base. Well, because it's a cylinder, all cylinders have a circle as the base, which means the volume of a cylinder will always be pi r squared times the h, because pi r squared is the area of a circle. So our volume of a cylinder is always going to be pi r squared h. So let's try a few problems. So here it says find the exact volume of each cylinder. So when I ask for exact volume, that means you're actually going to leave it in terms of pi and not multiply pi through. If you multiply pi through, it's going to give you a decimal, because we all know that pi is 3.14, so it's going to cause you to have an answer as a decimal. So exact means don't actually multiply pi through. So we know volume is pi r squared h, and so we just need to plug in. This right angle tells me that that is the height. This 7 is the height because it is perpendicular to the base. Remember, your height can't be at a slant. So we have pi times my radius is 4 squared times 7. So when I take 4 squared times 7, I get 112 pi. So I just write the symbol for pi. I don't actually multiply it through. And so since it says exact, that is my answer. Make sure you're careful on your homework. If it's asking for exact, you need to have it in pi form and not multiply that times your pi, times 3.14. Okay, let's look at another one. So again, I'm asking you to find the exact of the cylinder, but in this case, I actually only have half of a cylinder. So we know that a volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h, but because there's only half of it, I'm just going to take that and divide it by 2. So that 4 centimeters, this right here is the diameter. So if my diameter is 4, then that means my radius must be 2. So I'm going to have volume is pi times 2 squared times my height of 15, but then that has to be divided by 2. Well, when I take 2 squared times 15, I get 60 pi divided by 2, and 60 divided by 2 is 30. So 30 pi, and then I have centimeters cubed. And there is your exact volume in terms of pi. Okay. Let's try a word problem. So it says the volume of a cylinder with a height of 9 centimeters is 1,000 centimeters cubed. Find the radius. So here I'm telling you to use 3.14 for pi. So you're going to actually type that in. So again, if we start with actually let's draw our image so we have an idea of what this is going to look like. So here's our cylinder. I don't know my radius, so that's r, but I know my height is 9. And I know the whole volume is 1,000. So volume is pi r squared h. I know my volume is 1,000. I don't know my r, so I just have r squared times 9. Well, our pi, it says to use 3.14, so I'm going to have 1,000 equals 3.14 times r squared times 9. If I multiply 3.14 times 9, I have 1,000 equals 28.26 r squared. We got to get r by itself, so we're going to divide by 28.26 on both sides. And when I divide that, I get 1. And then to undo that square, we would take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 1 is still 1. So r is 1 centimeter, which means our radius is 1 centimeter.